Hello everyone, my name is Alex Hutchinson. I'm the creator of Wei Tai Jutsu. Today I want to take a few minutes to introduce you to the art, tell you what it's all about and why I created it. So let's smash it. When I was 13 years old, I convinced my parents to sign me up for karate. And that went pretty well, except my teacher bailed after a few months, which sucked because I love karate. So I had them sign me up to another school. And that went well until it didn't. And then I had them sign me up to another school. This continued to go on. I realized at some point that I didn't have the transportation or the money to get around and do everything that I wanted to do. So I started to teach myself. And I found that that's really what we do as martial artists. We spend a lot of time teaching ourselves. I mean, instructors are there to show you the basics and show you the movements and correct you and make you do it right. But once you've learned those movements, it's up to you to do all the work. So I had a few years where I would take free classes, train with friends, and just sort of work things out on my own. But at a certain point, I realized that in order to remember all these lessons, I needed a structure. I needed a way to put it all together. So when I was 17 years old, I thought, I will come up with a system of my own. I was inspired by Bruce Lee. His idea of Jeet Kune Do was to use anything that works and throw away the things that don't. I thought that's a great idea. I could do that. Of course, I ran into the same problems he did. The more specific you got with training and movement, the more it became a style and less a system. So over the course of 2 years, I kept looking at different ways to put it together and ended up coming up with a very simplified system, which I ultimately called Wei Tai Jutsu. So Wu Wei is the Taoist concept of effortless action. And Taijutsu means body skill or technique. So essentially, Wei Tai Jutsu means effortless technique. And the idea being that you put together a long-form, continuous, though dynamic kata, and then memorize it and master it. And when I say long form, well, most katas are about 30 or 40 moves. My kata is 1,000 moves. Yes, I know, that sounds ridiculous, but it took a very long time to learn. And everybody's kata is different because you are essentially teaching yourself. You're taking the movements from every school that you go to and just adding it to your form. I think mine took me just under 2 hours to complete at my, what I would consider about a second degree black belt test. 1,000 moves is very hard, especially when you have to count the moves to make sure you get them all right. It helps to put it in sections. Anyway, Wei Tai does have its own philosophy, its own recommendations for belt rankings, should you decide to go that way. And I have a number of other recommendations to help guide people on the path to using it, should they decide to. As far as I know, I'm the only person doing it right now. I created this system 30 years ago. I taught it to some students, and then I kind of moved on with my life and did other adventures. But now I realize that lifestyles have changed. People don't stick with the same job for decades anymore or the same dojo for decades anymore. And with that in mind, we're much more independent and self-guided. So it just made sense to put Wei Tai out there and see if anybody wanted to use it. So I put links below this video so that you can read more about Wei Tai, its philosophy and recommendations. And then there's even a full article called The Birth of Wei Tai, where you can see my full martial history and how I came about the different ideas. Should you decide to use it, I would be very interested to see what you do with it. If you've ever done any of your own self-teaching or created a system of your own, I really want to hear about that too. I've learned by watching martial arts videos on YouTube that the real knowledge isn't with the influencers. It's with the fans. It's with the people who watch these videos, because they're from all around the world. They've studied all different styles and have a tremendous amount of knowledge. So I'm looking forward to learning from you. And thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing what you can teach me. Martial art. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about what it's about, a little bit about what it's about, a little bit about what it's about.